please, we can write down our questions. My colleague, we have about 20 minutes for Q&A, and then we have another 10 minutes for feedback. So please, let's note it. 20 minutes for question and answer, and then another 10 minutes for feedback. We are believing God that we will go out after.
I was called by Pastor Deyemi to come to a religious gathering to speak to Christian youth leaders. This was, I think, over a year ago. Christian youth leaders from across the country. So we were all there, so I talked to them about drugs and everything. After I finished, then they created a room for me to see those who want to see me. Would you believe that almost 40 of them came to see me? One girl came in, and she came in, I knew she was Johnson. She was experiencing withdrawal symptoms. She was year 2 in a university. So I sat down with her. She said, "Sir, I want to stop." So after talking to me, she opened a jotter and gave me 2 sachets of Colorado. Wow. I'm talking about it was in a Christian area. What that meant was that if I didn't come, she would have used it during the program. Yes, sir. So when I'm saying to you that we need to wake up and smell the coffee, I'm not just gisting. These are children. And let me also end with this. You know, a university was sending students to us for rehabilitation. So we wrote report back, Christian University. The next thing I heard, they sent me a message that, oh, we are still considering whether to readmit him. That they voted, that the voting was even. So I called the registrar. I said, so why did you send them for rehabilitation if you are not going to reabsorb them? Because what you are saying is, oh, we like to give you a second chance. So where is your second chance? It means that boy, if eventually they consider him again, will have lost 2 years. I asked him, if he was your child, what would you do? It's because of what you said. I just remember.
Wow. All right, I believe we are writing down our questions. We just allow for 2 minutes for us to write it down, and then we can begin to drop them. Okay. Okay. Doctor, sir, I have a question for you here. No, you can please sit. You can answer from. Yes, doctor is still a very young man. Okay, I just hereby whisper that doctor is 71. So, this 71-year-old young man.
I was 71, September 11.
That's a few days ago. All right, you are addressed by the way you dress. But today our speaker said, immodest. Please, can we listen to this question? That immodest dressing should not be the basis for it. Can you help us balance those line of thoughts?
I think we should be careful about interpreting what I said. When I said dressing, let me share something with you. I don't know whether you saw it at the time. Let us be careful in just looking at somebody and profiling. A pastor did something in America. He dressed like a homeless man at the entrance of the church. Everybody was avoiding him. And they were entering the church to go and sit down. So afterwards, they were waiting for him. He entered and took off those things. They couldn't believe it. Jesus said, he said, if you did this to these people, you've done it to me. He said the homeless, all kinds of things. Dressing does not make the monk. The fact that a man dresses well come to church does not make him better than a man who he came in what he has. We can't force people to go and buy what they don't have. Well, I mean, you know, for something, I tell people, maybe they say I'm crazy. I've worn knicker shorts to marriages before. I don't have time for. I've never done ashwebi in my life. Never. You see, because if you ask yourself some of the questions, ask yourself why you do it. It doesn't make sense. How many will you take in the committee of people when you begin to take different ashwebi? You will go bankrupt. Anyway, but what I'm saying is this. Please, when I say dress it, if somebody comes to your church first time and is dressed funny, don't send him away. Don't even say go and sit outside or something. You don't know where he's coming from. Maybe what you should then do is let him stay after service, share fellowship with him, show love, and give him some clothes. But be careful, if he's an addict, he will sell your clothes. But please, dressing is important. If the person said it's the way you are seen, Nigeria, that's the way we are. If you see Bill Gates, you will not believe that he's a billionaire.
Ben.
So let's be careful. But you know, the important thing for Christian is the spirit of discernment, so that you can.
All right, thank you, doctor. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
This question is a very, very, I call it close to core, and I will read it. My son was born left-handed,
Right.
but we force him to use right hand. Please, let's also listen as parents so that we can also take a lesson from them. He's 25 now, but not gone to the university, and have not discovered himself. Sometimes he does something that we look as if you should kill him. All the talking does not make him change. What can I do to help at 25? He's not doing anything tangible.
I'm glad with that kind of question. You need to spend time to apologize for the wrong you did. When a person comes with left-handed like that, the brain has been set up like that. So what you did was to reorder his brain setting, and he may not be able to handle it. So the thing to do is, I think this person should get the boy to say counselor. If you look at him very well, begin to tell you the things that have affected him, and then we can still help him. So he's not all lost. But many times, parents, please be careful. Don't conform with the next person. Each man, God said, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So when he makes us, you know, there's one guy who used to travel around the world to deliver lecture. He didn't have arms or legs, rigid. Yes, they will put him on table to talk. He's married. He has kids, and is well respected. So the thing is, why don't we try to understand? A set of twins cannot even be the same, even the identical twins. So understand each peculiarity and deal with it. I'm sure that person can still be helped. So, you know, you have over the years, he has been abused, emotional abuse, all kind of things. He has been distorted in his brain. He has been told that when you use left, you are not a correct person, and he has assimilated it. So he is struggling. So, but it's not all lost. The person can, maybe later Ben can see me, we can talk, and we can see what we can do.
Please, the person who brought in the question, kindly see. Okay, sir, this is personal. Can we recommend someone to you and how?
Okay.
In 1 minute or 2 minutes, sir.
Okay. Our office at 9C, Adebayo Mokolu Street, opposite Newcastle Hotel. Organization is Compassion Care Recovery. But the person comes, I can give my number as well, so talk, and then we see what is necessary. 0803 302 3620. 0803 302 3620. Dokun Adedeji.
Yeah.
I pick all my calls. If I don't pick, it must be that I'm busy. Just send me a text and
That's
I'll
right.
call you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the gift of access. And please don't let us take it for granted. Don't abuse and then begin to. Let's ensure that something that is worthwhile. All right, sir. We'll be very fast with the question.
No problem.
All right. How do you handle teenagers misbehaving?
How do you?
How do you handle teenagers misbehaving? You are not a parent, but a teenage teacher in church. Most parents are not present, but you only have access to them once a week. How do you help?
You know, the thing that we don't know, when we say they misbehave, they are bringing it from somewhere. And mistake we also try, we don't know, is when we try to correct people in Sunday school, you are wasting your time. Because it's going back home and spending longer time, so whatever you put inside will be destroyed by what is at home. When you see that, it's just to also organize something to see the parents. And then, if you talk to that person, those teenagers, they will tell you where the issues are. You know, teenagers, sometimes when I go to talk, they say they want me to come back and talk to them so that I can help them talk to their parents.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
What happened when your pastor, Reverend, failed to see the need to invest on members who are victims? That is, he's always saying, I will not allow them to pollute those in church.
Because he doesn't have understanding.
So what can the person do in terms of...
His position is just titular. You know, the thing, we need to pray for our pastors, for them to be humble, to appreciate their limitations and know that other people can help. And it comes also from their own self-issues. They will not tell you, they are scared that somebody may be more brilliant, and then people will now go to them instead of him. Right. So the thing is, I mean, get a time that you say, Pastor, I'd like to talk with you. And then tell him that, Pastor, I hold, but you see, you need to be more this, you need to be more. Sometimes they don't know. And many times it is members that destroy pastors. When the pastor is coming, you carry his Bible, you carry his jacket. Is his hand paining him? No, it's true. Yes. You know. And so, you see, when he now begins to act one kind, you say he's proud. He's not. You made him. And you say, I remember the GO was telling us in church one time, he redeemed that, don't call pastors daddy. But the people are so ingrained in that you say a young pastor is 25. He wants Baba to be calling him daddy. I mean, that is sickening. And then it's also what we allowed. If we don't allow it and with respect we discuss it, things will be better. Yes, now.
All right.
Let your pastors also come here.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. Sir, we have an outreach and got some of these boys, but they don't have a home. And we're thinking of looking for how to help, but they started stealing. What are the steps to help? Can they prefer?
You see, don't just help people because you think it is important to help. Understand them. Understand the dynamics. You must know where they're coming from. If you want to help them, as I said about the church starting a dedicated center, you know, the way to start is that if you have a place where you can put them, don't just carry them on one Sunday and carry them there. Tell them to come to church over like a month, and you begin to notice them. You find the first day 10 will come, the next Sunday maybe 6. After it will be like 3. Those are the 3 that need your help. It's not that crowd. So it's about knowledge about how to deal with it, and they're not terrible. I can tell you, I've been to the drug joints. Nobody has ever attacked me. They're not aggressive. They're not criminals. But that's the way we look at the area boy. You know, it's not true. You know, so it is about handling, and that's why your program is very good. You are teaching people. You see, there's nothing greater than love. If you look at the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, everything is about love in different perspectives, and you must practicalize your love. It's not from your lips.
All right. So,
Please,
Dr. Sir
going
will
to
be
stick
very.
with
How
that.
can
Want to
people
talk
who
about
have
the
been
compound.
Oh, yeah.
deprived?
Sir?
How can people who have been deprived of their conjugal rights? I say that again. Conjugal rights.
Right.
Or parental care be lifted for Jesus in our homes or community?
You know one thing we said. All these things, don't just preach to everybody. If we don't begin to talk about family, what are the needed ingredients to build a family? You'll be surprised that some of these things will be lost. For instance, the conjugal right thing. Sometimes I tell women, it's not because men don't want to, but you need to also understand, what work does he do? How long does he spend at work? What are the issues bothering him? A man that has emotional problems cannot have erection. So unless we are truly a family that understand one another, you will think OTT love because no, it's not true. So it's just a matter of how we build our homes. The same thing about our children. I ask people, why do you have children? They have children so that people can say, well, no, be more. That's it. They do not, so they don't know what it is to take care. They don't know what it is to love. They don't know what it is, and they think the only thing to do is to provide. Anybody can provide.
That's true, sir.
It doesn't have to be a father.
I work with children with disability. Thank you again, doctor. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I work with children with disability, and some of them have faced a lot of stigma and rejection from parents and other family members. Do they face trauma that would need counseling? Most of them seems to be thriving in spite of the disability. How do we balance?
These things is still about profiling. What do you mean by disability? Because he can't talk like I talk, he's disabled. He can't walk like I walk, he's disabled. But do we know we can channel his weakness into strength?
Yes, sir.
Pelé, and the footballer, he had polio. He had shortening in one leg. Yes, he was one of the greatest footballers that ever lived. Look at Messi. Messi was treated by Barcelona because he had a problem with his pituitary. So he was short. Everybody. It's about understand autism. There's one woman, she's dead now, Dr. Aki Dayomi, who started a center. You know why she started a center? She had a son that was autistic. I know what she did when she saw that. She said, this is a child that needs time. She called other siblings and said, look, your brother needs help more than you. So if you see me devote time, it's not because I don't love you, it's because he needs. And so she built love, and that was how she went to start her own center. That's why I said, if you are going to start a center, somebody who has experienced it, who knows it, not somebody who just has money and want. Empathy is different. So these people you call disabled, they are not. This singer, this black man, Stevie Wonder, Cobham, he's blind. He sings and we're all listening. I mean, beautiful songs. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not about that. I have seen, this boy, Prince Harry. He started something with soldiers that have been wounded. He energized them. He gave them emotional upliftment. So he goes everywhere. They set up games and they play. So he gives them a feeling that they're not lost. So it's just for us to understand. There's nothing disabled about not having something. And then we just need to train. Anybody can be disabled. Do you know, if you lose your thumb, you can't write well. You need to learn to use other fingers. Are you disabled? Yeah, no.
So it means we need to stop the profiling.
Absolutely.
All right, few more to go, sir. How can we get people off drugs for depression? It means that this person was depressed and then he was taking drugs. The drug is okay for the depression, but the person and the doctor have no plan for the person to be off it and replaced with Christ. This person is born again.
You see, let me tell you something. I tell you, the fact that somebody is a doctor, that's book knowledge. There's something about emotional attachment to your patients. Why is the person depressed? If you do, okay, let me give this example. When you see an addict, you bring him to rehab. We put him in rehab. What you have just done is you have just restricted use. If you don't give him the ability to respond, to create a life of his own, when you discharge him, he picks it up. Because this drug is not sitting alone, it's standing on pillars. So those pillars need to be dismantled. It's the same thing with depression. Why is it? Nobody is born to be depressed. Something. Maybe, you may not know the person is 22. You say, why is he depressed? He's in university. Maybe he was raped by his father when he was 7. And you think he has forgotten? He hasn't. So those are issues we need to deal with to find out what is happening. So that's why we need to have understanding of the human nature. Nobody likes to be sad. So that's the way I will approach it. So and then I tell people, the person must not. What doctors do, particularly psychiatrists, they bring you in acute phase. They give you drug to suppress it, and that's what they keep doing. Nobody understands the fundamental reasons of what had happened, and so you put the person on drug for life, on something that you can deal with. Patience, in ability to delve into people and let them self-explain themselves. And that you find that the person may not need medication. Most times, what we treat many times, people don't need medication for. They did a research, they found that if you go to a hospital, when you see 10 people in bed, only 4 should be admitted. The rest are just, you find when you want to get close to them to do, they will not do like this. And when you leave, they begin to play. They don't want to go because that's a place in which they have found peace.
That's
bed rest.
Bed rest. Okay. In my church, we did a crusade and got some young men who we believe that they are no more again into drugs. They have started attending church and receiving counseling. We can see changes and we give them opportunity to share their experiences and struggle. Is this enough? Do they need rehabilitation in a professional care system?
Yes, they need help. Because what they are doing, they are just finding comfort within the time in which they are in church. Would they be dependent on you for life? The answer is no. So what then you look at is, you look at them, you can say, in the church there are carpenters, depending on their level of competence. There are carpenters, there are tailors, distribute them as they want. So that you still create a place where they come back home to, so you can't tell the man to employ him and give him a house. So when they go, they come back, they go, after a while, they begin to make some money to be able to go and set up on their own. And when you do that, when they're living, don't let them go individually to go and be living. You can get a place and then all of them, they have a sense of responsibility to the place, and then they come to church. And then you are also still monitoring them. And the boss is also still monitoring them. But not in the sense of mbolo tutilo. No. That is different.
That's right. Okay. Sir, should we allow our spouses to have the hint of what we have learned here, or keep it away from them? I think is the answer.
No, it's beyond that question.
No, you see, hello.
One house, please.
That person has raised a very valid question. What the person is saying is, how do I present this thing to my spouse that he doesn't think I'm talking about him?
Okay.
You understand that? So you see, the thing is, your purpose of coming here is to dissipate knowledge. So you must find a way to say, but don't, it depends on the relationship you have with your spouse. If you go and say, what we learned today, the husband must be to live below So again, it must be in a general, like if you have a family platform where you pray, it can be what you put about love, how to care for one another. If I have offended you, I need to tell you I'm sorry. My children, I know too I have offended you. So you start like that as if it's you. Then everybody will begin to think. The next time when you bring the topic, everybody will begin to say their own. So it's wisdom. You know, there is a man called Sir Francis of Assisi. He says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So it's important that we know how to present, not in an adversarial manner. That the first thing is easy, you are pointing at it directly. You know.
Thank you, sir. Can we put hands again for Doctor? It's been. We have one more question. And then
this man.
What can be done to a young man into drugs and stealing, but his father and siblings don't have money to send him to a rehabilitation center?
Very good. You know why I say very good? When I was in Kadam, the church, I thank God for the Redeemed Church. Although they did it as a kind of tokenism without having a deep understanding of what they're doing, started this drug thing. But when we began to show them that it's beyond gathering people, put them in, that is about understanding and doing this, it became a problem. So the thing that I'm saying is this: the church is the one that needs to begin to start this thing. The society will not. It's like expecting politicians to stop substance abuse. Like those are the boys they used to campaign, so they will never stop it. So it's important that when we do things, that the churches must come together and say, do you know, if let's say Redeem, let's say Foursquare, they build massive centers and get these people in, and then from there begin to get them to jobs, you find out how you will gain people coming to your church. Muslims have become Christians because of Kadam. They've gone everywhere, they didn't get out. When they came and we gave them Christ, they became Christians. So we must find subtle ways of introducing our religion. And the thing is, the church must wake up to its responsibility. All the money we are collecting on Sunday morning is towards a purpose that is enduring and that is redeeming. It shouldn't be to be buying AC in church and everything. How many hours do we spend in church that we are turning into palaces?
Thank you so much, sir. This is a feedback, and I will read it verbatim.
Okay. Oh.
Doctor, I am very happy. No, you are safe, sir. You can be very sure that
I'm in the same place.
Yes. I am very happy to be under your teaching today.
Thank you.
You have just reinforced my vision to humanity. I will go back and do more of what I am advocating for the trauma people in my space. So we're joining this person to also say thank you so much for that powerful presentation. Please, can we all put our hands together for Dr. Dokuro Adedeji.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so we take two feedbacks. Okay, mommy, one. Going. Okay.
Pastor.
All right. Please come. We can also take. Okay, you can if you want to add. Yes.
Good morning. Okay, I started on the existing protocol. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
There was a question somebody raised yesterday concerning the issue of forgiveness of inmates. I don't know if the woman is here. The woman that talked about some inmates saying they will never forgive and now I know that PFN have some programs in most prisons, and so they run these programs, and it cuts across forgiveness, anxiety, the rate at which they return back to prison. I don't know, that word can cut somebody's tongue. Then equipping them for the larger society. They train them also, they take them through some courses to prepare them so that as they are going back into the society, they have something to fall back on. And One of the program they call Sycamore Tree project. The other one they call it the prisoner's journey, and there is one they call Onesimus. In fact, yesterday Onesimus they had a graduation for those that are to be released in 6 months, 3 months time. That is where they trained them with craft, so that by the time they leave, they have something to start life with. And then there is also the promise part. This one is tailored to the children of the inmates that are out there. So they see to the welfare of the children, place those that are out of school back into school. So all these programs, they run them in the prisons. But the inmates have to enlist for them to do this program. So they are there, they are aware, so you take time to go enlist for it. So that particular person, madam, please encourage them to take opportunity of any of these programs. And then it will address the issue of unforgiveness. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And so I'll take Pastor.
All right, so I understand that I may not have this large platform to share at the end of the day, but you know, I came in here this morning from a retreat I'm facilitating at a boarding school pretty close here. I'll be there for 3 days. Today I was talking about sexual purity. So I'll tell you about four categories of altar calls I made, and I will give you speculative numbers. Those numbers, they are plus or minus 1. I asked for people who loved looking at the nudity of their siblings and their parents. About 11 people stood up. My friend is here, Dumola. I asked for those who have sexual interactions with their cousins. 2 of them ran after me when I was leaving. I asked for those who are into pornography. I lost count. What I'm trying to say is that we are sitting on a keg of gunpowder, and it's beginning to explode in trickles. I'm praying that we don't come to a point where the explosion will be global. Sadly, it's looking like that about drugs. For drugs, it has exploded. What I'm trying to say is, for every one of us here, whether you're pastors, you're ministry workers with the young people, we need to go deeper. Young people are the future. If we don't focus on them, we've got nothing to hold on to. Please, as you're living here, go back to your children's church, go back to your teenagers' church, go back to your junior church, and do real life ministry. Don't come and tell us about Moses without an application of what Moses means to us today. All right? Again, I want to encourage church leaders to go loud on the social interventions that they provide. Because of my experience working with youth, teenagers, and campus students in the universities around here, I see that many churches have social intervention programs, but people don't know about it. See what information that this woman shared with us about PFN. If you knew about it before, let me see your hand up. So I'm trying to say that there is a lot the church is doing, but we don't know. Are we together? There is a lot churches are doing, but we don't know. Please, let's leverage on technology, social media, and put the message out there. It will go a long way to help. That's why we are the church. And finally, if you know a pastor who needs this exposure, please recommend and refer. Myself and the Bible Society of Nigeria, we've come a long way, and we will go a long way. That's because my life is here. Please, pastors, there's no end to training. I don't know if this is the best place to say this, but for the organizers, I wouldn't know if it is the right time to begin to say that the BSN should begin to look at a rehab center. I don't know how it will work. It may be a partnership, it may be sole-owned, but the need for a rehab, basically drugs and sexual-related issues, is becoming alarming. It's becoming alarming. And if you are a parent here, please, I want to beg you, your home is not safe anymore. Out of 15 things that are happening in your house, you don't know 15. In fact, you don't even know one. The things that your children are doing under your nose, for which you will say, I know my child, you really don't know. You may need to begin to engage. And I'm saying that you don't have to wait for a program to take them to see a counselor. just take the risk. Take your child out to see a counselor, a pastor, somebody who speaks to young people, just to scan through their minds. You will see things that are already precipitating, and you will know where to act. I'm praying that the Lord will help us in Jesus' name.
Reverend.